Hi, welcome to another episode of So Conversations with Betty Dang. This is where we get real stories from people who have been successful and building businesses and traveling around the world. And we share our stories so we can inspire you to make a move in your life. So tonight we welcome Kim, and she is going to share a little bit about herself. And she is a publisher and has her own businesses. She is a very successful woman, and you have a lot to learn from her.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited already. I love your title. So anything soul is my thing. So I'm Kim Somers Egelsee, and I've been doing this work for over 20 years. I'm an intuitive. I do a lot of things under the umbrella of helping women love themselves more, become completely authentic and shed the ego, and give them a platform to shine their unique gifts. And so I do that through intuitive readings, life and business coaching. I have done a TED Talk. I do a lot of public speaking, and then I have the publishing company as well. And so we help authors get their books out to the world and to bigger audiences and help them become bestsellers.
Yay. I know I just looked at her website and she has published some amazing stories. You should really connect to her and see the books that she has published and the stories that people have read. It will inspire you to write your own story. In 2014, I wrote my own story and I was published in an anthology with a collection of other Vietnamese writers across the US and Canada. And years later, I get reached out from a friend and she moved to Florida, but she happened to buy that book for her daughter and she read the story and she found my name and she realized she knew who it was. So she
Wow.
found me on Facebook and said, "Hey, I read your story."
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, you never know who you're going to touch. I've had people like reach out to me and say, "I've been following you for years and you helped me, not hurt myself or something like that." I hear the craziest stories and I'm like, "Really? My book? Because of my book?" It's crazy.
hmm Your book shares a lot. That's why I put a lot of thought to write a book and what I wanted because I want to share this message with other people. And it's why I started my podcast because we're very lonely in this world because we're all disconnected right now.
Hmm.
There's a lot of violence and negative energies out there, and I want to create a community that's going to nourish your soul so that it can evolve to the next level. Bring together powerful women who have gone through these transitions will help other people find their way home. That's what it really feels like when you tap into the world of the energy and the soul. It feels like home again because you discover your purpose and why you're on this earth.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And you start to understand why you had to go through certain things. And that way you don't look at them as traumas anymore. You look at them as gifts in many ways, even if they were hard and crazy, because it makes you more conscious, less judgmental, all of those things.
Yes, you start to judge yourself less. I
Hmm.
find that a lot of women put too much pressure on themselves and they want to be perfectionists when you don't live in a world of perfection. It's very hard. It was one of the things I had to learn to let go when I moved out to Colorado, where the standards of perfection is almost non-existent,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
they still operate every day.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy how many women right now especially are under so much pressure to, look exactly the same basically, like all look a certain way, use filters, use AI, and it's actually reducing their self-esteem because what's happening is they're so used to looking at the AI or filtered version of themselves all over social media or in their photos or even when they text people that then they look in the mirror and they don't accept themselves because they're used to this so-called perfect version. And so I think doing the work of accepting imperfections and loving yourself for your imperfections is such deep work and is life changing. And It's so, like, I would say, like, one of the steps is just to be consciously aware. If you, like, for example, I made a video with, looking kind of frazzled with barely any makeup on, and I was just real and I'm just talking, and I posted it. And then I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'm just myself. I don't care if I'm imperfect. And that helps pave the way for other women to go, oh, okay, that's freeing. And I don't care too. And there's many celebrities doing that right now, which is nice because we need the authenticity.
Yes, we need more authenticity. When you're honest with yourself and you're honest, you start to draw the things that you want. And you start to attract the right people into your life. The reason why you're attracting all these negative things, I read all these stories. A lot of my friends are in negative situations, bad relationships, and all these things is because you haven't been clear on what you want, because you haven't been taught. It's not that you don't want to, but it's not taught. My family is from Vietnam. We're taught from a young age to ask for what we want and to be clear on what I want. I lived with a mom who was very strict, so I had to be very clear and direct on what I wanted. She didn't like to beat around the bush.
Mhm.
If I beat around the bush, she yelled at me. So if I wanted something, I had to find a quick and clean way to ask for it.
Mm, wow. And so how did that help you now? Like, what do you feel like it
I'm
goes
not
over in your
afraid to
life?
ask for anything.
Mm,
I'm a
that's
little
phenomenal.
hesitant on this new offer I have, but I know I'm worth it. It's just when you're clear on what you want, you have to think about who is going to support you on that journey. You can only surround yourself with 5 people. Who are you going to trust in that 5 people circle? Because the deeper you do your work, the harder it is for other people to understand you. And you have to connect to other people. You have to find other people to support. I connected to a man in Utah and he supported me right away. People
Mm,
are out there waiting to support you if you just reach out.
hmm. Yeah. And be picky about who they are. They have to feel aligned, you
Yes.
know. Somebody, a speaker was on my mastermind today, Peter J. Hughes. He's really amazing. He has a book called At One Man, and he described having boundaries so brilliantly because he said, don't use the word boundaries. Don't think of boundaries. Instead, you have your sacred space, which is you, and it's protected. And you don't let in anything that isn't aligned. So even though a person might be kind, you might like them, but you might not feel aligned with them. You just don't let them in your sacred space. But you don't necessarily have to have boundaries because he was saying boundaries cause like a force or a negative energy, and you're
Yes,
bringing that
that's
in.
true.
So I love that. I love looking at it that way because then we don't feel this like resistance.
Yes. And when you're in abusive relationships, that energy is vampiric. It
Mm,
latches onto you. During my heart chakra healing yesterday, my ex-partner's energy was attached in 3 cords on my body and it took a little bit of time. He didn't want to leave.
mm. Yeah. Yeah. Luckily, I've been with my husband 30 years, but before him, I was in a abusive relationship as well. And
Hmm.
it took a lot of healing to get through that. And I think it's important for women listening to know that it's very common. And it's really important that you get out of it. Like you find help and you find support, even if it's just like a helpline or whatever, because too many women stay too long thinking they can fix that person. And usually that person is not wanting to be fixed.
No, they they don't even know that they're wrong. I learned something about narcissistic abuse. I watched a YouTube series. There was a coach. He broke it down very simply, and it made me understand the relationship and the pull I had, and the charm, and the apologies, and then the over again
Mhm.
and over again. It doesn't end. And I urge you to find a way to leave that relationship because it's never going to change.
Mhm. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And they end up love bombing you in the beginning.
Yes.
And then later they get, if you start to figure them out and, fight against them in with your words, they get frustrated and they end up, once if you do leave them, hopefully they go find someone else to do the same thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very toxic.
And it's very common. Very
Yeah.
common. It is very easy to get attached to someone like that when you're lonely, especially through online dating.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Lonely is an epidemic right now.
Yes.
And I think like what I've been finding, I did some research a couple of months ago and I asked 50 women, how many close friends do you really have that you can absolutely trust? And the average answer was one to two, which is, that's totally fine. I love that you said five. I think, five is safe. Over five is more like they're your friends, but not close,
You
close friends.
can't have that many relationships. I read somewhere a long time ago, you're made up of five people you surround yourself
Hmm.
with.
Yeah,
And the people who you surround yourself with are the people who are going to motivate you and keep your dreams going. And when you fail, they're going to remind you who you are, what your wins are, and how to get back up.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that, for the people that are really lonely, I think it's important just to, even if you find a local book club, or
Yes.
something where, like something you can go to once a week, you're going to end up with a connection, my mom goes to an art class. She ended up finding like five new friends at this art class that they love each
Hmm.
other and they hang out all the time.
Yeah. Start with your hobbies. I used to do meetup groups when I did snowboarding. I connected with all types of people, brought people together on snowboarding trips, and some of them have stayed friends for a long time.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's very nice when you can see those connections because there's a happiness that I feel like we are missing as we grow up because that's why we're so lonely. We don't have a community. The
Mhm.
American communities are very isolated. In Vietnam, all the communities are divided into districts and everyone knows everyone in the district.
That's beautiful. So much support.
Yes. So and even here, the Vietnamese people all know each other, and there's a lot of drama. Let's not talk about that. But
They picked up the American drama.
no, they come with drama. Their drama is nothing like the American drama. American dramas go on and on,
Mhm.
but Vietnamese dramas involve jealousy, gangs, violence, abuse, all
Wow.
different types of things.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, just how violent they are. When I was young, a karaoke club opened up, and on the first night there was a stabbing.
Wow. It's horrible.
There was a woman that was killed in a nail shop over a fight. Gun. He came in with a gun because he was jealous.
Ugh. Wow. That's crazy.
It's very crazy world that I grew up in, and my husband was murdered.
Wow, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's not a very safe world out there.
Yeah, that's why we have to be so careful who we surround ourselves with, for sure.
Yes. I lost my husband because I wasn't aware who I was surrounding myself with. And I didn't understand how powerful my energy was.
Mm,
You need to understand how powerful your energy is so that you can control it. So other
hmm
people don't latch on to it. Because when they latch on to it, they try to control you.
hmm Yeah.
Whew, that's some heavy stuff.
All good.
Yeah, but I've met so many women who have lost their husband's jealousy. In
Wow.
Colorado, it's very common.
Really.
It's a very common game. My uncle taught me in high school that men play this game of hand me down. They would go with a woman for a while, and when they were bored or tired of her, they would break up with her and hand her down to the next guy. And
Uh,
she would be passed down through the guys like that, and that's how they sell you.
wow. Yeah, that's I mean, even all of the stuff coming out with about women and how women are treated, it's more important than ever for leaders, women leaders, to show other women they too can be powerful
Yes.
and stand up for themselves. And it's we all have the right to do that and be successful. And I think that more women than ever are that way,
Yes.
but we get
There's
to be the
very powerful
examples.
women out there. Every woman is trying that in my network. There's so many women trying to build their own businesses. And when I talk to them, they struggle because they don't have that support at home.
Hmm.
It's very difficult to transform your life when you don't have that support.
Totally.
Even eating habits, like trying to eat gluten free when your family won't support it, is
Hmm.
very hard.
Yeah.
Oh, what would you tell someone that wants to get out of a relationship and change herself?
I was funny. I was just talking to a client today about this because I won't use her name, but she is with someone that at first he's very nice and he's not too bad, but it's still too much to tolerate. And he's becoming very codependent. And then if she doesn't do what he asks, he starts to belittle her and say rude things to her. And I told her, okay, well, if you went to a restaurant and the server treated you that way, what would you do? She's like, complain, and I would be like appalled and upset. And I said, but you're allowing this man to do that in your own home. And is he adding to your life or subtracting? And she's like, subtracting. So she's very scared to, like, this is very common that we as women get scared to upset someone or make them sad, or she's afraid to break his heart. And I'm like, he's going to get over it. You have to either find a way to tell him straightforward, or when he starts to belittle you, use that. Say, okay, I can't do this anymore. We're done. You have to find some way to end it. Because if it's that bad, I mean, if someone's belittling you or trying to control you, or a lot of women I hear, it's terrible. They get really mean criticism from men. The man will say something terrible about her body, her looks, say someone else is prettier, anything like that. Those are big red flags. And so get a girlfriend or a life coach or someone to help you in how to word it to them or get them out of your life, but you need to get them out of your life.
Yes, sometimes you have to let go and just move on.
Yeah,
You can't
absolutely.
wait for that apology. You can't wait for someone to change because they're not going to change.
Mm-mm. Yeah, and when I was younger in that abusive relationship, I thought that I could fix him. I would try, and oh, I'm going to give him another chance, and it never. Finally, I got really just sick of it and
Yeah.
ended up leaving.
Yeah. It's hard. When I was caught up in my relationship and it was physically abusive, and my friend reached out to me and said, I think he's abusive. And I actually denied it and I protected him. I was like, oh, you just don't understand him. Because it was
Mm-hmm.
just kind of a shame that I was caught in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, it was kind of normal between my parents. They argued all the time. But I was just so confused because when you're in that situation and you're arguing all the time and he's belittling you, it starts to eat at your self-esteem and you forget who you are and you don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's so important to have someone you can talk to remind
Absolutely.
you of who you are so you can take action.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, I think we talked about so much in like such a little short little period of time.
Yeah, it was
We
very good.
covered a lot. How do you think women feel when they take that first step?
To get out,
Yes. How would it feel for them?
it feels, I mean, I did it with my ex and it felt a mixture of freeing and scary. And I was actually very scared he was going to try to do something to me, come after me. You know, I felt very free, like really empowered at the same time. But I was, but I was in my power and I was like, I'm done. I've had enough. And it was a moment that forever it will be a good memory because it showed me that I could stand up for myself and be empowered. So I think that women will be a lot of them will be scared. Also, I think the scary part is many women are financially dependent on the man or partially, and
Yes.
so, yeah, and so it's scary to go out and go, oh, what do I do? Do I have to get an apartment? Do I have, what do I do? I have a friend who did really a great thing. She ended up leaving a bad divorce, a situation narcissist, and moved back in with her mom, but she's house sitting and dog sitting all over California, even in
Oh,
some other
wow.
states. And she'll stay like a month here, 5 days here, and she's loving it and having so much fun. And he ended up leaving her alone, but that was what she did to be financially stable until, she saves enough money to move out herself.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. There's so many free resources out there. People do open up their homes for you if you are in a hard situation.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I used to work at a domestic violence shelter long ago. And
Wow.
yeah, and the women were amazing. They were these like super deep, wise, amazing. Some of them were like big career women, but they were hiding. It was a domestic violence shelter that was hidden because of the men being crazy. And so we couldn't give the address out. It was gated and hidden. Um, and they were going along with a plan so that they could be protected and get their own place, and many of them had children. So it can, that's why it's important not to ever feel shame, because it can happen to anyone, no matter who you are, how successful you are.
Yes, it can happen to everyone. Even the smartest people get hooked into it.
Hmm. Yeah.
It is the smartest people because we're the most loneliest people, and that's what they prey on.
Yeah.
Because these men are very smart as well. They
They're
can hold
smart, but
conversations. They're not that smart. You can see through them after a while,
mhm.
but When you're lonely, you find excuses to fill your loneliness.
Hmm.
And I've made that mistake twice, and it's cost me a lot in time and money and energy and traumas. And I've been single for 10 years. I've been trying to clear all the energy that I have accumulated through those years.
Hmm.
And I'm taking very clean, careful look at who I bring into my life.
Hmm. That's awesome.
And I want other women to feel that they can do the same because you have a right to live happy.
Hmm.
We're
Absolutely.
humans. We came to Earth to be happy. We're souls experiencing a spiritual, in humans experiencing a spiritual journey.
Hmm.
So this is the only place that we can be in physical form, and we should be in pleasure, not in pain.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about your publishing. Um, how did you get started in that?
Yeah, so our publishing company is called Publishing Joy because my middle name and my partner's middle name is Joy.
Oh,
Um,
wow, what a synchronicity.
right? Yeah, and
I
we've
love
known
that.
each other for many, many years. And I have coached, I myself have 14 best-selling books, and I've coached people for years as a business coach on how to get their book bestseller, how to write their book, all these things, never formally being a publishing company. And then she came to me saying, I have this idea. And so we figured it out, and it's been over a year and a half, and we are on, I think it's our 11th book that we're published. And
Wow.
we have a graphic designer, an editor, and it's amazing. Yeah, I love it because it helps people's dreams of becoming an author come true.
Yes.
And it's just it's one of those things that you're forever changed when you write a book. You're just like it just feels different because you have something out there forever, your
Yes.
legacy. Yeah.
Yes. You do. Your legacy is part of who of leaving behind, and now with the internet, it's there forever. Upload
Mhm.
it to Amazon, anyone can read it.
Yeah, it's very cool and exciting.
Yes, very exciting. I love that you can help women do that because everyone I meet has a very deep story to share, and we should all learn to write our stories.
Yeah, I've done a lot of anthology books as well, like the books where there's 30 contributing authors.
Yeah.
And yeah, we have one coming out in May 16th called Discover the Gift of Joy. And we have 22 authors, and it's really brilliant. People just share their challenges and how they overcame them, and
Mhm.
deep enlightened stories of wisdom. It's really amazing.
Wow, that's amazing. I would love to read that. I was part of an anthology of Vietnamese refugee writers across the
Mm.
US and Canada. It was a collection of 70 writers, and it's an
Wow.
amazing book because it tells stories from every walk of life.
Wow. What's it called?
I am Vietnamese.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah, it's
love
on
it.
Amazon.
That's amazing. So many people.
Yes, the Vietnamese community has built a lot on their pain. We just celebrated the end of our war, a celebration of the fall of our country, on April 30th.
Mm,
Yeah. It's still strong. I don't have time to go to the events, but I do look on Facebook to see what the community is doing. And they
hmm.
had videos of all the people there, and I could see that a lot of the older seniors were gathered, and they still remember the their country.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's you travel, right? A lot.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I want Americans especially need to travel more. It
Hmm.
changes your perspective. You meet new people, you meet new things, you see new things, and and you realize where you are in the world.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I love traveling, and I have two daughters, and now they've grown up going all over we've been all over Europe and Australia and Mexico and parts of the United, like lots of different places. Um, but it's true, you have different experiences where you find aspects of yourself that you didn't realize because you're experiencing the world in a new way. And so
Yes,
many times I get downloads of creative ideas or even the start of new projects because of being
yes,
traveling. Yeah.
yes. Traveling opens you to new ideas. I encourage you to travel and learn about different cultures because every culture has something very unique, and America is very unique because it has so many cultures here.
Hmm.
And there's pockets of different communities everywhere. I just found a list of Filipino restaurants I didn't even know existed.
That's cool.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, when you come out here, then it's a quite a far drive, a 10-hour drive, but there is a place, have you heard of Mount Shasta?
No, where's that?
So it's at the very tip of California, Northern California, almost to Oregon,
Uh-huh.
but there's a very famous vortex there. So the mountain holds this vortex energy, which is a very deep spiritual energy. There's a
Uh-huh.
lot of spiritual beings all around. You see them even when you take photos, and you feel the vibration when you're there. And there's waterfalls everywhere. It's like this magical place.
Oh my God, it
Um,
sounds
yeah, so you have to go
amazing.
there. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. It just reminded me of this time I hugged this guy and I could feel the waterfall rush. That's
Mm,
how beautiful his energy was.
wow.
Yeah. It was just a hug, but it was so intense. People do need to hug more.
We do.
Holding hugs and bonding and connecting with energy is very healing. Yeah, I'm looking forward to I'm going to California in 2 weeks. I'm very excited. I'm going up to Sacramento.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty close to Mount Shasta, so you'll have to try to look.
I'll
Yeah.
look. I don't have
Yeah.
time to go on a 10-hour drive, but
No, not from Sacramento. From Sacramento, I think it's only like an hour and a half or 2 hours from Sacramento.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, Mount
Maybe I'll
Shasta.
take my friend. She's still stuck in the situation. I don't know what it's gonna be like when I go over there because one of the things you need to learn is you can't take shortcuts in life because it will cost you more time and money.
Mm-hmm.
My friend took a shortcut and now she can't open her business until she pays a $10,000 fine.
Mm, yeah, poor thing.
And I don't know what to do to say help her, but she has to find I offered to set up an investment contract for her so that she can get investments into it,
Mm-hmm.
and she hasn't sent me the menu or pictures.
Mm,
Sometimes you want to help people, but they don't know how to get out of their own way.
right. They're not ready.
No. So that's one thing I learned. You can't help everyone.
Mm-hmm. You have to let them be on their journey because sometimes they need to go through that to become a better version of themselves. And so sometimes we have to let them be on their journey, even though it's painful to watch.
Yeah. I'm gonna go out, spend a couple days with her and see how she does.
That's good.
Yeah, she needs it. So I'm glad I'm going out there. That's what friends are for. You support
Hmm.
each other. We've been friends since high school.
That's nice.
Yeah. I love having long-term friends because they remind you of who you are
Hmm.
and the
That's true.
conversations go deeper.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, Kim, is there anything else you'd like to share with us tonight?
I think just look up the book when it comes out, May 16th. It's Discover the Gift of Joy on Amazon. And for anyone in California, we have a red carpet book launch that evening in Huntington Beach. So that's exciting. And my website for the publishing company is publishing-joy.com.
Oh, nice. I'll post all that in the description so that people can find you.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much, Kim. I really had a really good conversation with you, and I do feel so much joy talking to you.
Likewise, you have just like this bright light around you. So thank you for being you.
Thank you. I think it's all we can do is just be ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
All
Thank you,
right.
Kim.
Thank you.